Welcome to video 3 in the free traffic series, and the third topic we're going to talk about here is blogging. So blogging is, really, I guess it depends on what you're trying to drive traffic to here. If you're trying to drive traffic to a blog, then you're going to be blogging anyways because that's your destination. However, a lot of the times you're going to be using blogging to drive traffic to a sales page or to some other kind of website that you want to monetize. So let's go through how you can use blogging to your advantage from a traffic perspective. Now, I always say that every site should have a blog component. So what I mean by that is you see businesses starting up new websites, and let's say it's a restaurant and they just have the homepage with a little bit about the restaurant, and then you can link to their menu, their location, you can make reservations online, all these different things, but they forget to incorporate a blog page or a blog component on that website. But when you think about it, you need a blog on all. I can make an argument for pretty much any business to have a blogging component because the blog is your dynamic content. It's stuff that's being added and changed or at least contributed to on a regular basis. And as you blog more, each blog post gets indexed in Google and other search engines, so it's giving you an opportunity to get your website found. If you just put up a website with 4 or 5 pages and leave it as is, those 4 or 5 pages are your only gateway to the traffic online. Whereas if you have a blogging component, every post is a new opportunity to gain traffic once it is indexed in the social networking space and in the search engine space. So make sure that no matter what you do, you have a blogging component. Now, having said that, the site I'm promoting on this video series, quityourjobmanual.com, is just a single page sales page. So that doesn't really make sense for me to have a blog on that sales page. But what I'll show you is how I use blogging under my own personal brand to send traffic to that sales page. And so that's what I mean by every site should have a blog component. It doesn't necessarily have to be on the same website, but there should be a blog tied into it. So the first thing I'm going to suggest you do, and I'll give you the demo of this as we go through, use the Google keyword tool or some other kind of keyword tool that's available. There are a number of different ones available. The Google keyword tool through AdWords is my favorite because it's just very simple to use and it's free, assuming you have an AdWords account. And even if you don't, there's a free version or a non-AdWords account you can try out. But what I recommend you do here is that you use the keyword tool to help you understand what kind of things get searched in Google each month. And then based on what people are searching for, you can write articles that match the exact title of the key phrase. So for example, maybe you have you're in an auto mechanic type of niche and you want to target people who are looking for tips when repairing a Porsche. So you can write an art, and if there's a decent volume of traffic in Google where people are searching for, let's say, Porsche repair tips, you can write an article called Porsche repair tips, or something even longer tail than that, depending on what it is people are searching for. So use the keyword tool to see what's being searched, and let the title of the things that you want to write for, the keywords that you want to kind of rank for, determine what it is you write. And it's pretty cool because you can just take a title, a pretty generic title, and write any kind of content around it. So I'll show you the exact example as we go through this. But use the keyword tool that'll help you come up with blog content titles. Then you create a blog post that matches that title, kind of as I mentioned. Again, this is keyword specific, so we have the whole idea of being ranked in search engines in the back of our mind here. Then, once you have a blog post submitted to your blog with the keywords, you want to submit each blog post to social websites. Now, if you're using WordPress or any of the common blog themes, most of the time they have a pretty easy way of submitting to things like Dig and StumbleUpon just by clicking the little button below the article. It's often as easy as just clicking the button that lets you share it on those social networks. And if not, then you can do it manually depending on the blog platform you're using. But the whole point here is each time you write a new article or you post something new to your blog, don't just post it, but spread it around using social networking websites like Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn, all the other ones I mentioned as well. Now, what you're going to see here is that if the competition is low, so if you've picked a title that is 4 or 5 words long, but it happens to be a keyword that people search for in Google, um, there's probably a pretty low chance that other people are optimizing for such a long tail keyword. You're going to see that you rank in Google pretty quickly. And I have an example of a blog post that I wrote called 100 Life Goals. And I didn't realize it gets searched pretty often in Google. And just that one blog post, I rank fourth or fifth out of something like 100 million results or 80 million results. And I get daily traffic to that blog post because I happen to name my blog title, the post title, um, 100 life goals. It is something people are searching for in Google. So it was a great example of if you blog something and it happens to be a good keyword with low competition, you can rank and pull in organic traffic, which is awesome. And the idea here is to focus on volume. I don't always like to say quantity over quality. It's not really quantity over quality at all. But what I'm saying is focus on blogging frequently using keyword rich titles, because the more you blog with keyword rich titles, the more opportunity you have to be indexed in Google and to be found. Like I said earlier, each blog post is an opportunity for you to publish content and leave a breadcrumb back to a website that you're promoting. So it becomes a source of traffic for you. Having said all of that, let's actually go into some specific examples where I can show you how you can use blogging to drive traffic. So what I want to do first is we're going to think of some articles to write or blogs to post that can help me drive traffic to this product. Now, again, this sales page doesn't have, nowhere on this domain do I have the ability to blog, but I do have blogs set up on other websites. So if that's the case, like if you're watching this right now and you have a single page product that you're selling like I am here, then you're going to need to actually go and create a blog on another site. You can do that on a free Blogger blog or a free WordPress blog if you want. I recommend you actually set up something a little bit more serious, maybe a blog under your personal name, because blogging can be a really powerful way of driving long-term traffic. I'll leave it up to you. I'm going to show you an example from my own personal blogs that I run, and we'll kind of take it from there. So what we want to do here is I'm going to launch the Google keyword tool. I'm going to show you exactly how to find it. So if you go to google.com and just search for the Google keyword tool, it comes up as a recommended result. The first result here is the keyword tool from Google AdWords, and in this case it's the external version, so you don't even need an AdWords account to access it. You will, in some cases, I've already done this, so I didn't have to do it this time, but it'll probably, when you first go there, it'll probably pop up with a little CAPTCHA asking you to type in to make sure you're human. So just do that, and then you come here and you can start looking for keywords. So I'm trying to drive traffic to the Quit Your Job manual, so let's search for quit job as a keyword and see what kind of statistics Google has been tracking around this particular keyword. So quit job itself gets, these are rough estimates. I don't trust these numbers exactly, but they give you an idea. It's not a bad thing to look at. So quit job gets around 60,000 global monthly searches, 40,000 local. Again, let's just look at the global for now because I want people looking at this from anywhere. But what happens here is as you go through, you're going to see all kinds of other related keywords that you can start thinking about as potential blog post titles. So for example, I want to quit my job. It is a search that happens around 1,300 times a month. That's not a bad number. And if I actually take that text, so I want to quit my job, copy it, and then go to Google and actually search it, we can see that the results coming back are they're just posts on other websites that are probably not optimized all that high. I don't know for sure by looking at it, but I can just see here that these are just blogs or article directories of some sort. Now about.com is pretty powerful. You're not going to outrank that one in all likelihood, although you might. I want to quit my job. Another article here on i-resign.com. So you can see there is some competition, but if you were to write an article saying I want to quit my job and the title of your blog post was I want to quit my job, you start ranking and competing against all of these. So it's a pretty good thing. Now let's go back and look at some other potential keywords just by the recommended results that came back here. So we had quit job. I often just I'll look at this column and look at some of the big ones. So quit your job, 22,000 searches a month. Quitting your job, 22,000. Here's one for 18. Quit my job, 14, 8 down here. I quit my job. Those are all examples of ones that are going to be higher competition because they're probably a little bit more common. And so you have to decide how you want to title your blog posts. Again, this is all just theory, but use this as an example of getting an idea of what the traffic numbers look like. If you look at some of the longer tail stuff, can you get unemployment if you quit your job? It only gets 720 searches a month, but that's such a long keyword that the chances of somebody else actually having a blog post with that exact title, pretty slim, if not nil. And so if you wrote a blog post with that exact title, you'd probably get ranked on the first page of Google. I mean, I'm not going to guarantee it, but there's a good chance that that's going to happen. That's not really what I'm going for here. My product doesn't sell that. But let's actually look at something, another long tail one here. Um, let's see here. Here's one. Reasons for quitting a job. Okay, so let's look at that. Again, we'll Google it. So the very first result is quit your job, top 10 reasons to quit your job. So there, if you look, there is no blog post. The number one result does not have a blog post with the title of the keyword we're searching for here. So my gut tells me that if I were to write a blog post on my blog with this keyword as the exact title, that I could rank in Google in a pretty short period of time. So for the purposes of this, I'm actually going to use this as a title for a blog post that I'm going to write right now. So here we are at my personal blog where I basically blog about anything, but I talk a lot about online marketing, entrepreneurship, things like that. And I actually want to write a new blog post here, and I'm going to use the exact title that we found, Reasons for Quitting a Job, to show you exactly how you can take blogging, take advantage of blogging to drive traffic. Now, anything I've showed you so far, you could use the same strategy for article writing as well. I mean, coming up with titles for your articles is just as important as coming up with titles for your blog posts. So let me just log in to the dashboard of my website. So here's my dashboard, and we're going to write a new blog post. So we'll just say add new. Reasons for quitting a job. And so right now I'm going to turn off the camera, actually write an article here, something short but informative, and then show you the rest of the process. This isn't a tutorial on blogging, so if you don't get this, then that's another lesson that you can go out and search for or contact somebody that can help you. And I'll come back once I have this article written. Alright, so I took a few minutes there and I wrote a new blog post. Notice here the title, Reasons for Quitting a Job. It's the exact keyword that I'm going after, and it's a pretty short article, but there's a couple things I want to point out. One is obviously the title. Two, in the article or in the blog post, I embedded a couple different places where I'm linking to the sales page that I'm trying to promote here. So here you can see quit your job as a hyperlink, and when I click it just to test, it sends the traffic over here to the sales page that I'm promoting. Also, at the end, at the end of my article, I say, if entrepreneurship is your thing, please check out my latest product called the Quit Your Job Manual. Again, linkable here, and the image is linkable as well. And I like throwing images here. That's the advantage of doing this on blogging versus article marketing, is you can throw images in and really capture attention. And so now I have a blog post that will get indexed in Google, and we're going to do some other things with this as well. But this particular blog post is designed to drive traffic to that sales page, and this blog post is going to be up for a long time. I have a regular stream of visitors that come to this blog, so they're going to read this article, and I'm going to get some traffic there. But also new people that find my blog will probably read this article as well and get to the end of it and go, well, what's this thing all about, and go and check it out. So really cool way of driving free traffic. Next thing I want to do is take this blog post and really it's this URL that's going to be indexed, and I want to publish that or share this across a number of different social networking sites. Now I don't have time to do all of them, but if you look at my particular blog here, I have a plugin for sexy bookmarks. It lets me bookmark this or socialize it into different networks like Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn and all that. So let me share this on at least a couple to show you. But really, you want to get in the habit of doing this for all of your blog posts. So let's tweet it for one. Sending it to Twitter is a really easy one. So reasons for quitting a job, boom, it has the link. Let's tweet it. So that's easy. That one's out. Then we'll go back here. We're also going to, I won't Facebook it right now. Let's dig it. Dig is Dig's a great place. Every time I write an article, I always submit it to Dig, and I find there's pretty decent traffic that comes from it. Also, your Dig submission tends to get indexed in Google fairly quickly, like sometimes within less than an hour, like a few minutes sometimes. Kind of depends on it. So when you dig something, it has the URL here, the title. You can pick different images that are available. It's actually pretty relevant for it to use this image since that's the product I'm promoting. That worked out pretty well. And it has the title. Uh, it picks all this up by default. I generally don't touch it. You can if you want. You just need to pick a topic. So this, really, if you look at it, it's probably a business topic if I had to pick. So you dig it. And then what happens is it becomes part of the dig system. And if I click on this, there's an actual, well, it takes me to my website there. Let me go back. Okay, let's go back here. If I click on dig, it's going to say it's already submitted. So here is the dig link itself. There we go. dig.com/news/ the rest of the URL. So other people, I can now share this link with my friends and ask them to dig it as well. Or you can get in social network circles where everybody can dig each other's stuff. Not really all that important, but this just gives you an idea of some of the things you can do. Let's also let's do it with StumbleUpon. So I'm going to send this to StumbleUpon. If you haven't used StumbleUpon before, check it out. StumbleUpon.com. It's a great social bookmarking website. So is it safe for work? Yes. What is the topic? It is, let's call it starting a business. Or no, it's quitting a job. Quitting a job. Let's say tips. And they're giving some suggested categories here. I'm just going to leave it. And I'm not even going to do a review. I just want to show you how you can submit things to StumbleUpon. So we'll submit it there. And it's in StumbleUpon's database. So other people might now start finding that link through StumbleUpon. Again, this isn't a lesson on StumbleUpon, but if you want to go learn it, go check it out. So back here, that gives you an idea. There's other ones like Reddit, which I generally recommend. Another one would be Delicious right here. All great places to bookmark or socialize your new blog post. Get in the habit of doing the ones that you like to use. You have to be a member of that social network. Like if the only thing you ever submit is your own stuff, it doesn't really look all that great and the effectiveness goes down. But for me, I use Twitter all the time. I use Dig quite frequently. StumbleUpon, I use it all the time. So I'm always submitting content and using it for reasons beyond my own stuff. So those are great places for you to bookmark your sites and to spread them out through social networks. LinkedIn is another one I use as well. So that is generally how it works for promoting a new blog post once you have it up. The last thing I want to touch on here regarding blogging as a free traffic source is what I use it for personally. So here's here's a personal or a success coach website that I run. It's a personal development blog, really. It's a video blog, and you can see here I get a couple hundred visitors a day to this site on average, but I take all of that traffic and I basically use it to advertise the Quit Your Job manual right here on the sidebar. And so I don't necessarily, I have a couple articles that relate to that product per se, but I'm using this entire blog, all the traffic I get from that blog, to promote a product. And I can change this product whenever I want because I'm the owner of this blog. So it's a great reason for you to consider building your own blog with a regular readership so that you can start promoting stuff. I could have AdSense ads in here or affiliate offers, but why bother when I have my own products that I'm selling? And it's something you might want to consider as well. So here I'm promoting it, and I do get clicks on a daily basis, and I've got sales from all the different resources I use to drive traffic to the Quit Your Job Manual website. So that's again just an example of how I use it. Hopefully that convinces you to start using blogging a bit more if you haven't been using it, and try it out. So we'll move on to the next lesson.